Hello, this is Njoki. Let's talk about time loop recurring narrative structure. So, a time loop recurring narrative structure, it's not a genre. It's how you're telling your story. A narrative structure is how you're telling your story. You can choose to tell your story in a linear way, like from the beginning to the end, without inserting anything. It's just the flow of things, simple, like most of the movies that we watch. You can choose a non-linear way of telling your story. Here, you can play with time. You can go in the past, you can go in the future, you can stay in the present, you can mix whatever you can mix. Now, with time loop, is the fact that time loop is connected. Like the beginning is the end is the beginning, the end can be in the middle can be the beginning. There's something that is recurring through the all that. Okay, so when it comes to types of film, it can be a horror that has a time loop kind of that has a time loop recurring kind of narrative structure. Happy Death Day. It can be a psychological thriller, Triangle. It can be a romantic comedy, Groundhog. It can be sci-fi, Predestination. You see how it's happening. So the reason why I'm making this video, by the way, it's because I watched Predestination, Coherence, Looper, Happy Death Day. I've watched Groundhog and I don't remember it that much, but I plan to rewatch it. And I also watched Triangle, and I found, yeah, I'm not a movie person. I'm more of a TV show person, but I feel like these kind of movies are some of my favorite movies to watch because of the narrative structure. Yeah, so let's get into it. When you're writing a narrative structure, it's so easy for you to, it can get boring really quickly. So how do you keep the things interesting? How do you keep your show interesting? So to begin with, you have to set a clear boundary of your story, like boundaries of the loop. When does the loop, how is it established? Can it be broken? And if it's broken, how does it reset? So I think in this, I will use this as an example. I don't mind. Yeah, it's a bit too familiar. So when it comes to Triangle, we get to know it's a loop. How you find out it's a loop, like, wow, really, yeah, like you keep finding things over and over. Okay, I'll get there. So in Triangle, we already know it can be broken, and we already know how it resets, and when it resets, and why it resets. You get to know pole pole. Same thing as Predestination, same thing as Happy Death Day. We get to know when it's reset, when it's starting again. So you have to set clear boundaries, like, yeah, as you're writing, when am I going to break this, and how am I going to show people it's actually a time loop? Because in time loop, another point is that you have to have a consistent thing that is happening. You have to have consistency. There's something that has to repeat itself over and over and over again. So in Triangle, it's them not getting in the ship. If they get in the ship, everything happens. If she tries to do something different, it will happen either way. She gets to see herself three times. Like, she gets to see her past self, her future self, nini. They're existing in this ship, and she needs to get back to her son. That brings me to another point. Your character has a goal as to why they want to break this time loop. Yeah, it can be an emotional loop, it can be a personal identity kind of a thing, because in Triangle, she wants to get back to her son. In Predestination, they don't want to, they're trying their best not to become the bad person. I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, I cannot teach you. We cannot learn from anything without spoilers. So yeah, he doesn't want to become the worst thing that he became. We've seen it in Predestination. It's more of a personal identity kind of an issue. Yet in this other side, it's emotional. She's guilty because of the kind of mother she has been. She wants to correct that. So she goes and corrects that, but we get to see now what happens if she corrects the goal of the character. So the character has to have a push, and the audience has to want to help the character get out of it. Another thing that you have to have is because it can be quite monotonous, it's now have gradual unfolding of things. How do you keep your audience watching this? You're repeating the same thing, but how do I keep them watching? So like in Predestination, I love that when they came to the bar and they're giving their story of how they met this person, they used a shot where we didn't see who she was talking to when it was a she. So, but later on in the story, when they travel back to time, again, yeah, this point brings me to something else, but I hope, yeah, my third train, yeah. When they travel back to time, we get to know who was met. Like you reveal, you now you use different shots to show who they met. That's how you keep your story interesting. Show us from different POVs. Like in Triangle, we got to see it from the past her, the future her, the now her. You get to see it as it's the same thing that is recurring, but you get to see it from different perspectives. Yes, don't show us from the same perspectives. Again, you have to have an interesting, you have to know how time works, you have to have a knowledge on how to like manipulate time when it comes to this. So you have to have memorable endings. Also, you have to twist the endings. You have to reveal things in the ending. Like you see in Triangle, when you knew what happened, you're like, ooh, that happens. Ooh, the Uber driver or the cab driver comes, and you're the cab driver comes, and you're like, oh, that's how she got. Ooh, this is the beginning of the movie. Like this is somewhere in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, you see such things. Like keep the twist coming. Give us a twisty ending. Like without the credits at the same time. If the movie did not have an intro and an outro, it will keep on repeating itself. So you can actually you need to be you need to know how you can use time now to create this kind of narrative in like coherence. The comments, it was a side effect of the comments that made these people a group of people exist, different versions of these people exist at the same time. So the comment was the reason why these people are existing from different timelines. They are here at the same time. When it comes to Triangle, it's like there's a past version of you. There's a you that is existing 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. So the whole point is that you should maybe think differently for them. Might do something different for them not to get where I am right now. Not to get in the ship. Like predestination is the concept of going back in time travel. So they went back, they came, these things happened to them. So there is time travel, there is all that. The past version of you doing the same actions as the future you doing acting the same as the past you trying to correct it. And yeah, I hope I've made sense. But I find these kind of things very, very fascinating, and these are the things that will make me a movie person. Yeah, if you have more movies that I can watch like this, they can be boring, because something like Looper, is it Looper? Time crimes. Yeah, time crimes. I'm still trying to watch it. I think I was tired when I was watching it, that's why I did not finish it, but I'll try and give it another chance and see maybe what they could have done better. So because it's also the same kind of narrative structure. I hope you've enjoyed or learned something. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. But for now, thank you for watching. Mwah.